What's up, gamers? We are back with more Starfield, picking up right where we left off. I did do a couple things between videos, but the only thing worth mentioning, I made a new ship because I just love the ship design system in this game. I think it's really good, and it's like I haven't yet gotten sick of it. So every once in a while, I get the desire to like take all my hard-earned credits and go indulge in creating a new ship design. Um, it's that good. It's really good. It's really fun for me. Um, but while I was doing all that, which just involved me traveling around to my go-tos, Tayo, Astroneering, and Nova, which you get the Nova ship parts in New Homestead. Um, Sarah reached the point where she wanted to talk to me again. Of course, I didn't talk to her. I also realized that there's a couple named NPCs at Tayo Astroneering that I've never spoken to. I didn't speak to them, but I'm aware that they're there now. So uh, we'll take a detour to Neon at some point to talk to them and see if they have any quests or anything like that. But I am anxious to get right back into this story, the UC Vanguard faction quest, which I feel is just so intriguing, and I really hope there's a good payoff in regards to learning about the Terramorphs and Londinian and all that. This Ve Victus twist was amazing. I was a little thrown off at first by Hadrian being a clone of Ve Victus, because that felt like it was such a shock and like a crazy twist to the plot and the story of what was going on. But it did feel a little bit like did was that really necessary? But now that Ve Victus is back in the picture, I can see that they were laying the groundwork for that being an even more significant reveal. So I have all the artifacts. Oh, wait, no. No, we're not doing that. I found Orlace's old United Colonies ID. This should be sufficient evidence to prove to Ve Victus the job is done. I'm still a little bit annoyed that I had to kill Orlace. I felt like the game was being heavy-handed and hinting that there was a non-lethal option for that quest. I haven't looked it up. Maybe there is, but if there was one, I did not find it. I didn't even like my big gamer brain, as big as it is, as wrinkly as it is, didn't see a way around that death. So we're just going to accept it as it is. Ve Victus got what he wanted, which makes me. We all know. I raged enough in the last episode about how I feel about Ve Victus and how dead I wish he was. But let's just get on with it. We'll go tell him that we did the thing he wanted us to do, even though I did everything I could to avoid doing the thing he wanted us to do. And for some reason, we can't tell a soul in the universe that he's alive, which is also something I'd love to do. Yeah.
Welcome back, Captain. Do you have some news for me regarding Dr. Orlace?
Yeah, he's dead like you wanted. Yeah, I mean, I tried to bring him in, but he took his own life.
I'm not surprised. The man fled every consequence he ever faced. Of course, you don't expect me to just take you at your word, do you?
Yeah, he's not surprised because he's the one that goaded him into not being taken alive. I'm telling you. I'm telling you that message was from him. Um, what if I told you I wasn't able to recover
I'd
anything?
say it'd be a waste of your and Hadrian's time to have to track down the research team on your own. Surely you found something.
I don't understand. This dude's in prison. I don't understand why he feels he has any leverage in this situation. Like he's been given like the only reason he even knows that Hadrian's team is still out there and alive is because the UC has afforded him a disgusting and unprecedented level of freedom in his captivity to lead his own team, to have his own intelligence gathering. it it's so like this. I just now promised I wouldn't like rage about this whole Vevictus thing anymore, but like
Continue
just
whenever you like.
everything he says reminds me about how frustrating the situation is, how I feel like it's a almost a plot hole. Like, I don't understand why the UC can't be like, oh, you're not playing ball with us anymore. You're not cooperating and sharing intel. We're cutting you off. Your services are no longer needed. Rot in this prison cell, you psychopathic war criminal. You're not gonna extort us. You're gonna sit here and rot. In fact, let's move you to like a 3x3 cell with no light and let you rot. Like I don't.
Nothing else then?
Like I feel like there's so much. Like the UC has so much leverage over Vevictus, for him to be sitting here acting like he has all the leverage and we just have to do his bidding. Like makes me want to huck my controller at the wall. Like it's so frustrating. I don't get it. I feel like there has to be more groundwork laid for this to make sense, that he has all this power over his situation and the situation of others. He's literally holding the fate of the universe as leverage over people, and he's a war criminal that's in prison. Like I'm gonna try and get past it, okay? Because I want to just sit on every dialogue screen I have with him, listening to him confused about why I'm not talking, and make that the whole video. I'm acutely aware that the last video I did so much raging and complaining that very little was actually accomplished in the video. I didn't progress this faction quest as much as I would have liked. So I'm going to try to be better today, but hopefully you, gentle viewer, share my frustration with this particular story beat surrounding Vevictus. He is way too cocky and has way too much power, more power than he deserves or is even warranted considering
Continue whenever you like.
Situation. Got your evidence right here. Now I'm done working for you.
Please, deposit it in the transfer system.
No, fuck you. I'll hold it up to the glass. Ugh. I feel like this idea is going to somehow help him escape. Like, he's going to escape from prison, right? That's part of the storyline. And I'm going to have to hunt him down and put him to death. Like, please tell me I get to kill this guy.
Transfer accepted.
Because
Would you look at that?
I'm not a fan.
Kept it all these years. Some simply couldn't let go of that old world.
Damn bulletproof future glass.
This is fine work, Captain. I can ensure the remaining team members find their way to the Red Devil's headquarters. Except for one. That one you'll need to collect yourself. His name is Kaiser. You can find him on the Freestar world of Nira, wandering the battlefield there. The area was ground zero for Xeno weapon deployments during the war, so I would arm yourself appropriately. And I think you'll want to check in with Hadrian and Dr. Walker before paying it a visit. Kaiser will likely have security protocols you'll need their help to overcome.
Security protocols? Wait, is this Kaiser guy a robot?
Military Model A, yes.
I know how valuable they
Customized
can
for
be.
the needs
Vasco
of the
is
Xeno
my
warfare
boy.
team during the Colony War. A powerful resource, if you can recover him.
Yeah, okay. That's why he's still wandering some battlefield somewhere, being a robot. It's better be worth
You're
it.
saving the galaxy, Captain. What tool wouldn't you use to protect it?
I hate... Can someone explain to me how I just got rewarded 3,000 credits for doing that? Does he have money in there? Okay. It's just the game, bro. It's just the game. They're rewarding you for completing a quest in a video game. Don't need to question it. We're leaving Ve Victus, which makes me feel good. Ve Victus has given me the location of Kaiser, but expects I'll need some additional information to bring him home. He suggested I check in with Hadrian first. Yeah, we'll do that. We're going to go to Mars now. I probably don't even need to leave this room to travel there. Red Devil's headquarters. Awesome. Let's go. I'm looking forward to putting Ve Victus behind us. I'm looking forward to talking to the one character of the game I might be able to reveal that he's still alive to.
When you have the time, of course.
Oh, right. Sarah. Like I mentioned, Sarah wants to talk. I think we've learned a valuable lesson with Andrea that if I just ignore the companions wanting to talk to me about something, it's obnoxious and immersion breaking and disrupts the story at hand. So even though I was planning on just launching right into this and going to speak to Hadrian and hopefully telling her that Ve Victus is still alive, I think it's time to take a pause from the faction quest. I kind of get like just the feeling from the pacing of Andrea's development that Sarah might be launching us on her companion quest with this dialogue request. Sarah, I was just talking about how I'm gonna discuss things with you. Don't walk away. So this might be, whoa. Oh, so UC sent some security out here. There's even a ship services technician here now. Which makes me wonder if I'm going to get some special, like, Red Devils tech for my ship. I will say the new ship I designed, which, by the way, is right there. I found out there's, like, oh, there's another ship here, too. What the heck? My situational awareness is really poo-poo right now. I didn't even notice, like, there's other, like, NPCs here and, like, another ship. And, like, I mean, I guess it makes sense, like, Hadrian had to get here somehow, right? And
It's absolutely freezing here. I do not recommend extended... When you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you.
see Sarah trying to do some, like, situation-based dialogue, but then, like, her split personality causing her to, like, interrupt herself to be like, we need to talk about the side quest that I want you to do. It's annoying. It's too annoying to leave alone. So we're going to talk to her. But in this rambling, what I was trying to get out is that one of the UC Vanguard specific ship mods that I unlocked through progressing that quest as far as I have is a shield system that's actually, like, really good. It's probably my new favorite one. For one, I love that it's one of the top mounted shields. I've been using that little dongle shield for all my ships, the one that gives you 1500 shield, but it attaches to the side. And I love that because it's the best, like, shield per weight ratio of a shield you can get in the game. So I use it in, like, all of my ships. But I hate with every fiber of my being that it attaches to the side. And this is probably something no one cares about unless you're getting into the ship design of this game as well. But you can see the Vanguard shield on the right side of my ship when it's facing forward. They're that black thing, like black and red. It's cool looking. It attaches to the top, which I love. It's not this ugly, annoying looking dongle that you have to attach to the side somewhere that, like, almost guarantees your ship's going to be asymmetrical. And it's strong. It's like, I can't even tell right now because my shield's boosted because I took the shield improvement skill, which, by the way, I've been sleeping on. increased my shield capacity by quite a bit. It's like a little less good than the dongle thing. It's like 10 less shield or something insignificant like that. But its weight to shield ratio is the best in the game, as far as I can tell. So I'm a big fan. I'm gonna be taking all my ships into the ship services tech to get that shield put on them instead of the annoying dongle thing. Okay, Sarah. You wanted to talk to me, right? I think this is going to be your side quest, so I'm here for it. I was hoping we'd get more than just Andrea's, and I think we are going to get Sarah's right now.
Ever since we talked about the Battle of Cassiopeia, I can't get what happened out of my mind.
I could tell it was still bothering you. I mean... I don't have time to talk about this right now. I'm going to say this because, yeah, I could tell it was still bothering you, Sarah. Ever since it popped back in your head, you've been incessantly insisting that we talk, so.
Was it that obvious? I thought I could handle these memories, but until I return to Cassiopeia, I'll never be able to put this to rest.
Right, she wants to bury her crew that crashed on the surface of the planet. Let's go do it, man. I don't even need to say that. I mean, I don't get the concerns thing, but she does feel like that's unfinished business in her life. Let me help you.
I would like that. Actually, I need that. One
Yeah, I'm
problem,
here for you, Sarah.
Pinpointing the crew's shuttle wreckage is going to be like trying to find a grain of salt in a sandbox. I think we need to start by locating my old campsite on Cassiopeia 1.
Oh, interesting. So after she abandoned ship in the working shuttle, like rough on her that she sent the entire crew off in a broken shuttle, and then she just had the working shuttle like all to her onesies. So she must have sat down on the planet afterwards and put in some sort of effort into finding the crash site, but then, got picked up by the UC, given a medal and a bucket load of lifetime guilt. Yeah, you never told me where you ended up after the battle. All of the Dauntless's escape shuttles were damaged? No, I imagine she touched down.
This silence is getting awkward.
Yeah, a little bit, Sarah, I admit. What eventually happened to the Dauntless? I'm triggered from the last time I had a conversation with Sarah. Like, I want to ask both of these questions. If they had taken your shuttle, that is so mean. Why would you even give me the option to say that? What eventually happened to the Dauntless?
Shortly after I evacuated, I saw the ship come apart.
Okay.
The UC listed it as lost, so I assume the Dauntless was completely destroyed.
That's fine. And thank you for not advancing your dialogue. I appreciate the exposition without forcing me into other things. Because we're so close to a save game, like I literally just have to... Oh, wait, actually. Oh, I'm actually not as close to a save game as I'd like to be. Ooh, yeah, I'd have to have that whole conversation with Victus again. Hold on,
I have
Sarah.
something I need.
I know that. I need to make a just in case
Ever
save.
since we talked.
Yeah. I could tell it was still bothering you.
I thought I could.
Let me help you.
I would like that. One problem, though. I think...
Here we go. All of the Dauntless's escape shuttles were damaged.
The Dauntless took heavy fire to the docking section during the battle. We had 3 shuttles. One was destroyed, and the other two were damaged. There was no other way off the ship.
Okay. So her shuttle was damaged also. She was forced to make a crash landing, but a more controlled descent than the one her crew was in. You never told me where you ended up after the battle.
Was there to tell? I survived. My crew didn't.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
I'll never forget my finger hovering over that launch button. Would I launch safely or explode into a fireball? It
Yeah, that must have
turned
been
out
crazy.
that my shuttle had just enough power to allow an emergency landing on the planet's surface.
Oh, cool. Special dialogue for my piloting skill. I like that. You took one hell of a chance. I can't imagine how relieved you felt after you landed. Now she probably felt like that's probably when the first wave of guilt hit. Well, it's not like you had a choice. I mean, facts, but it's impressive that you soft landed after an emergency jettison that close to the exosphere.
I wouldn't call what I did a soft landing, but thank you all the same.
I'll set course for the Cassiopeia system. Cassiopeia, sorry. We need to get you back there to face your demons. Do you think putting this to rest will get you back on your feet? That's a weird question to ask. What are you hoping to find at your old campsite? I mean, I actually am confused why that helps us. So, yeah.
My shuttle should have the telemetry tracking data for the other shuttle aboard. It
Ah,
should give us
okay,
an
right,
idea
that makes
where
sense.
it went down. That's if scavengers haven't completely stripped my ship for parts.
Well, let's hope that's not the case. What do you know about Cassiopeia 1?
It has a breathable atmosphere, indigenous fauna, and maybe a few abandoned mining outposts. Otherwise, it's not populated.
Breathable atmosphere, that's interesting. I like checking out the planets in the game that you can, like, take your spacesuit off. I find those fascinating. We're obviously not on one right now. We're having this conversation through spacesuits. I'm suddenly doubting that Cassiopeia is the right way to pronounce that. I'm suddenly like, is it Cassiopeia? I guess it really doesn't make a difference. I think Sarah pronounced it Cassiopeia, which is why I was like, oh, that's the way. My instinct is to pronounce it Cassiopeia.
Hello?
Hello! I feel some kind of mixed way about this question. I'm not going to ask that. I'll set course for the Cassiopeia system.
Hold on. I don't know the exact location of my survival campsite.
Okay.
For that, we are going to have to head to Mast and see if we can get the information from my old friend, Admiral Logan.
I knew it. Visiting Mast might stir up painful memory. Like, what a silly dialogue option considering the quest we've been working on together. That's involved us entering the Mast building several times. I think she did, like, it does put in context, like, she's like, I don't feel comfy in the Mast building. She said that, like, one time when we entered the Mast building. And we also, but we also, like, that was also, like, the first place she took us on our first mission together. And I don't recall her having some sort of hesitancy about going
You
there.
okay?
Then, just thinking about our past interactions, Sarah, and how they've led to this moment. You should let me handle Admiral Logan alone. I don't feel like we have enough context. Like, I feel like I would need the context from whatever she's going to say in response to this before that would make sense as a dialogue choice. I'm sensing tension between you and Admiral
Your
Logan.
instincts are right on target. Logan and I butted heads more than once during my time with the Navigator Corps. We've never seen eye to eye. Look, I hope this isn't asking too much. Last thing I want to do is drag you into some kind of personal crusade.
No, it's fine. We did the same sort of thing for Andrea. I'm happy to do it for you too, Sarah. In fact, I'm fine if this entire episode becomes dealing with Sarah's trauma. Crusades are my specialty. Members of Constellation stick together. Oh, yeah, here we go. Your well-being is important to me.
That's why I'm desperate for your help. Truth is, I'm scared. When I set foot on Cassiopeia, I don't know if I'll be able to handle what I find. If I
Yeah,
begin
because what
to
you find is
fall
probably going to be the
apart,
charred
I
corpses of all
need
the people you
someone
feel
I can
guilty for
trust to hold me
abandoning
together.
or failing. Yeah, I've got you back. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have talked over her heartfelt dialogue, but I feel it could be good to get some sort of measure of her expectations. I mean, I feel like her goal must be to find the charred corpses of her fallen comrades and give them a proper burial, because that's something she touched upon in the last dialogue we had with her about this. But it would be
You're
good
awfully
to like.
quiet.
Please don't advance the dialogue question. I want this exposition, and then I want to tell her I have her back. Please, pretty please. What are you expecting to find on Cassiopeia?
Besides bad memories, I don't know. I'm trying not to think about it. Not yet.
Oh, see, she hasn't thought this through. That's not emotionally healthy, Sarah, but I'll have your
I know
back.
you will. You've always been there when I've needed your help. Why you continue to support me, I'll never understand.
Oh, you're a good egg, Sarah. Oh, here's yet another opportunity for us to romance her, but it's because I love you, Sarah. It's because I care what happens to you, Sarah. Ooh, I can friend zone her right now. Part of me wants to I'm not going to do that. We're not going to be unfaithful to Andrea. But part of me wants to leave it open as to how I feel about Sarah. I'm really curious if this game
hello?
is. Yeah, hold on, Sarah. I'm really curious if this game, the relationships in this game are nuanced enough to like. What? Let me rephrase that. Let me put it this way. I would be incredibly impressed with this game's writing and storytelling if the possibility exists that your companions could fall in love with you and confess their love to you instead of it being the other way around. Like, if I left open the possibility
This
that I had
silence
feelings
is
for Sarah
getting
without,
awkward.
without friend zoning her, explicitly friend zoning her, if I continue to say stuff like this, like I care about you, I enjoy your companionship, blah, 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 and I keep saying stuff like that, that's, in the gray area. If she at some point, like, because so we know at the end of when we did Andrea's side quest, immediately afterwards, upon talking to her again, I had the commitment option. I was able to click the commitment option and then choose whether to be her
You
friend
okay?
or to marry her or to propose to her, basically. And I think it would be so cool if Sarah, after this quest, we talked to her, and she's like, I'm interested in being more than friends, and I could, like, let her down easy, like, no, I think we should just be friends. Kind of have a thing going with Andrea type of thing. Because that, I think that would be really cool. I'm going to leave that possibility open so that the game can impress me like that if it so chooses. It's because I care what happens to you, Sarah.
I feel the same way about you. Oh, I've been so
See?
busy searching the stars for answers.
Gray area.
I've overlooked what's been in front of me all this time.
Oh, she's gonna friend zone me now.
Friendship.
Oh well,
Something
that's
I've
fine.
denied
That's fine.
myself for far too long.
Well, that ends to death. What about Asia?
Traveling out here with you, I've discovered that friendships change by circumstance. I worked closely with Aja on long space voyages, so we became friendly. When she quit Constellation, the friendship ended.
This is sweet. She's
But
gonna
I'm
say that
certain
even if
at
you
this
left
point,
Constellation.
even if you and I were separated
Oh
by a
yeah,
great
that's so
distance,
sweet.
we'd never lose touch.
It's true, Sarah. We're besties. We're besties. I'm gonna say Sarah's my bestie, and Andrea. Well, I mean, obviously Andrea's my best friend and lover, but Sarah's like my bestie platonic friend. You've been critical of yourself for far too long. That's so judgy. Don't start crying on me now. Well, that ends today.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Hey, anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. I know you have a lot to do. I really appreciate your offer to visit Cassiopeia. Hopefully, it'll bring me the closure that I've needed for far too long.
Sarah Morgan considers you a friend. Sarah Morgan will be undismissible until you do her quest. Yep, no problem. We're going to do that. We're going to put the Vanguard side quest on hold. And we're going to work on Sarah's stuff today. Which is exciting for me for two reasons. One, I was really worried I was going to miss all of these companion side quests. Because I sort of like... Not sort of.
Hey, let me know if we're going to head into the well, so I can watch your back.
It's really not that dangerous, Sarah. Also, why does it sound like you're talking from inside your spacesuit when we're in the open air here? Yeah, Sarah made me lose my train of thought. Oh, right, yeah, I wholesale neglected the companion side quest because of the stupid decision to take the introvert perk. I hate traveling with... I guess in this game, the more appropriate term would be followers, because that's what they're called in this game. I hate having, like, the NPC, like, members of your quote-unquote team following you around places. I've always felt like in these games, and maybe this is mostly just a Bethesda problem, to be honest, but in Bethesda games especially, Bethesda RPGs, I feel like a lot of things feel shoehorned in.
If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later.
Yes, I know that y'all companions have a one-track mind until we complete your quests. We're doing it right freaking now, Sarah. Just chill. Chill, lady. Why? Alright, the game doesn't want to let me know what floor that's on until we go to the main entrance of the mast building, so let's do that. Anyway, I was in the middle of a big speech about companions in Bethesda games. I feel like they really shoehorn in a lot of that stuff. Like, if you're traveling with a companion in a Bethesda game, and you're like talking to some other NPC about the story or about the faction quest you're working on or about whatever. So now you'll tell me? I kind of would have guessed that one, but weird that it wanted me to go to this specific elevator first. They'll like interject themselves in dialogue and say something, but then like the NPC that you're talking to, that into which they've interjected themselves into the conversation, rarely, if ever, acknowledges that they've said anything. Never says anything back to them. They've done a bit of a better job with that in this game, I will freely admit. But even with what a good job they've done this game, it does feel shoehorned in, and it is shoehorned in, because you can have that same dialogue without your companion present, and it is for all intents and purposes, identical dialogue. Nothing changes. Like, I think I commented about how impressed I was with Andrea's interaction with, I forget his name, but the Varun ambassador that's still in the Varun embassy. Them knowing each other, him saying things about her, like, she shouldn't have revealed her secret identity, and, like, them knowing each other by name, and that whole, like, little, it was just a small moment, but it didn't feel shoehorned in. It felt like additional world building that I was not expecting, and I was really impressed with that. But this is my way of explaining why at the beginning of the game I was like, I don't want companions traveling with me, because they have been so booty in other Bethesda games, and then in combat scenarios they get in the way and become more of a liability than anything else. They're usually not very effective in being helpful at combat. They often like insert themselves between your gun or your weapon and the enemy you're trying to hit with that weapon. So you end up hitting them instead. And their movements and stuff, and this game is no exception at this point, are so janky that it's often like immersion breaking to see them trying to like path through the game. Like what's happening right here is so weird. Like, what is that even supposed to be a chair? Sarah, why are you sitting there? Like, I don't, they'll like like do these like hustles to like catch up to you after they get caught on some terrain, and it's jarring when you're trying to immerse yourself in a fantasy world or a science fiction, role-playing world. It always pulls me out of it. So that's why, like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's for me. I'm never going to want to be traveling with them. The only game that I've seen that was impressive with companions having, like, traveling with you, well, there's actually a couple. The Dragon Age series does a good job with that. But also Outer Worlds did a good job with that. But Outer Worlds falls into that same pitfall of them being a liability in combat. But that's not my biggest complaint about companions in video games. So I can overlook that because they do add like meaningful contextual dialogue and unique dialogue situations if you have them with you in that game. But Bethesda shies away from that. Like, I don't think, even though I regret not having them with me, I don't think I missed out on anything significant, any like significant changes in how things would have played out by not having them with me, which makes me feel a little bit better about it. But for the most part, I thought there was no way just wrapping up the faction quests I hadn't done, I would get an opportunity to like fully explore their paths. But it seems the developers did take that sort of situation into account, and we're progressing through their stories very quickly. So now not only do I think I'm going to get to some of them, but I think I might be able to get to all of them potentially by the end of my playthrough, by the end of the bonus videos at least. So I'm really excited for that. So I'm excited for the conclusion of Sarah's, which is probably now because we won't be marrying her. So I think this like companion quest that's gonna be multiple steps, like it was with Andreas, is gonna be the conclusion of her story arc. Um, and then we're gonna be able to move on to Barrett or Vasco potentially. We'll obviously do Barrett first because I Vasco's a bit of a wild card. I'm not sure if Vasco has the ability to progress as a character because he's or they're a robot. But I'm excited to do Barrett because the more I think about it, the more I think that thing with getting Barrett the alien power is kind of a one-off that's unique to that character, and I suspect he also has a quest which I imagine dives into his backstory about losing his husband in the war and all of that. So I'd love to have that expanded upon more. Um, Even if it seems kind of sequence broken by me already having conversations with him about that during the acquire alien powers part of his story. But that's enough about me rambling about what I am excited for that's coming. We should just get to what's coming, right? By playing the game instead of talking. So I can't imagine the
Sarah
game wanting us to
Morgan.
talk to him.
It's been what, almost 10 years?
Admiral, it's
Through the
good to
glass.
see you again, sir.
You're not required to address me as sir. That protocol ended the moment you dropped your clusters on my desk, remember?
Look, Admiral, I'm not here to open old wounds.
Old wounds is an interesting turn of phrase, given our past. Listen to me, Commander. I'm not sure why you're here, but whatever it is, why don't you just get to it?
I'm here because I
He's a
need your
dad.
help, Admiral.
You need my help. That's interesting. The last time we spoke, you made it quite clear that you were turning your back on the Navy.
He is
That
such
was a
dick.
decade ago. Things change. People change. Admiral, please. I didn't come here to argue. I'm here to come to terms with my past.
Your past is sitting in a closed file in the archives. That's where you left it when you walked out on the United Colonies. And what about you? Just who in the blazes are you anyway?
Doesn't matter who I am. This isn't about me.
I haven't spoken to Sarah Morgan for almost 10 years, and out of the blue, both of you barge into my office. I want answers. You can start with telling me who the hell you are.
I don't like any of these answers. I guess it's necessary to not have too many like situation-based dialogue options. I feel like there's a lot of things I could say to him, but only because I've progressed all these different quests really far. Like oh, I'm the one who I'm the hero that helped UC Sistef defeat the Crimson Fleet, or I'm a captain with the UC Vanguard who's earned and a UC citizen to boot on an important mission for the United Colonies, or you
I
know,
do have
like
a Navy to run, you know?
I'm the one who saved New Atlantis from the Terramorph attack that just happened. But these are all like at any point in your playthrough, you would have these three dialogue options, right? I'm here to support Sarah as a friend.
Very well. Then, as a good friend, perhaps you could kindly explain to me why I shouldn't have the both of you escorted from the building.
With all due respect, Admiral, this is ridiculous. If you have a problem with me, then there's no need to berate my colleague.
I don't have a problem with you, Commander. I'm simply trying to determine why you deserve the Navy's help.
Oh, why do I? This is something that bothered me a little bit during the Andrea companion quest, where the game like awkwardly forced you to speak for her when she was like right in the room, and they're doing it again. Like, Sarah's perfectly capable of answering these questions herself. I don't need to. Sarah's here to honor the. Like, why am I speaking? What? All of these begin with Sarah's here. So all of these begin with Sarah's here too. Why am I like mansplaining Sarah's motivations to this dude? Like, what?
Can we
It's
possibly
so
speed
awkward.
this up?
We can't, man. I can't. Like, I'm all about the commentary. That's all I do in this game is sit on dialogue trees and complain about the options I'm being given. That's like my whole thing, man. Haven't you figured it out by now? Sarah's here to solve a mystery that's plaguing her conscience. There's no mystery. This seems the most appropriate. Sarah's here to honor the fallen that served under her command.
That's quite a noble gesture. Is this true, Commander?
It's about Cassiopeia, Admiral. I'm heading back there to find out what happened to the crew of the Dauntless, and hopefully to bring their legacy home.
That sounds like a dangerous operation. Are you certain it's worth the risk?
I don't know.
It is. It is. We'll be fine. Like this admiral's gonna give a flying fig about a Sarah's emotional pain. He does not strike me as the type that this dialogue option is gonna appeal to. I haven't even looked at what my other options are, but I hope they're better. We refuse to allow the crew of the Dauntless to remain a statistic. Let us worry about the danger, Admiral. I would do like both of these significantly better than the first one. I think I'm gonna go with this one. We refuse to allow the crew of the Dauntless to remain a statistic.
I see. The fact that you'd risk your own lives to solve this mystery speaks volumes.
I guess there is a
They were
mystery.
my responsibility, Admiral. One way or another, I intend to bring them home.
I understand. And I believe I owe you an apology, Commander.
I really like his
Our last
about
encounter
face
has
here.
obviously distorted my impression of your character. What can I do to help?
If you wouldn't mind allowing me to access the files regarding my rescue, I'd be most grateful, Admiral.
That shouldn't be too difficult. I've sent all the relevant information to you, Slades. Was there anything else?
No, Admiral. Thank you.
You don't need to thank me, Commander. I just hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia.
I will say this game's done a really good job of like usually for like the whole game, like when a character's like, oh, like a good example is during the Ryujin quest where the CEO is like, I'm gonna call down to security. I'm gonna let them know what
more attacks. Understand?
I'm gonna let them know what happened, and he'll be ready for you when you get down there. And then if you like hang in her office for a minute, she like goes to an actual intercom that's on her desk, and like talks through it, and it tells him what's going on, and it has a whole like. And like a lot, just the whole game has been very consistent with like, when people say they're going to do something, they actually like, at least put on a show of like going to do it. But this bro is just like, I've sent the relevant files to your slates, and bro is just standing there at the window. Like, how did you do that? do you have telekinetic powers? You like psychically did something on your computer while standing at the window talking to like it actually cracked me up. That was really funny. I've sent the relevant information to your slates without moving. I'm that good. Bro doesn't even have a computer in his office. Like,
The loss of
but
life.
they could have at least had him
Damage
like
to the
pull out a
spaceport.
slate and hold it in
The
his hand,
costs of this attack are greater
and then
than I
put
think
it
we
away
realize.
afterwards, like he was going onto a tablet to do something, or like onto his mobile device to like do the thing. But he didn't even move his hands. He's just like, it's done. That was funny. After confronting Admiral Logan, Sarah and I have discovered that her crew was lost at a specific site on Cassiopeia 1. We should proceed there to begin our investigation into the fate of her crew. Sounds good. Let's do it. Ooh, maybe some encounter in orbit is about to happen.
Let me know
That'll
when
be
you're
fun.
ready to look.
We're doing it right now, Sarah. We really need to have a conversation about this insane impatience you have. Looks like we're getting into a battle with the Starborn here, which is fine. I can dig it. I do like the Starborn encounters because they always give me time to like get all my power distribution the way I want it before engaging them. They just make my screen look like it's glitching until I deal with them. Gonna get to christen my new ship in combat here. I think I should make light work of these Starborn, although these are level 3 Starborn ships, which I believe is the highest level they get. Maybe it's level 4 actually.
There it goes, their engine.
I just... Oh, I should really lock on. It's actually being detrimental that I'm not. Hold on. I'll walk on next time I catch them in my viewfinder here.
Engines fried. The target, I mean.
No, we just lost our shields. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I lost my engines. Oh, this might actually end badly.
Grav drive offline. We cannot jump.
Alright, I regained control of my ship, so... There we go, okay.
Hello, Captain.
It was a little bit closer, a
Jump
little
if
bit
you
more of a
want.
close call than I would have
Grav
liked. But
drive is working.
we're Gucci. I love this new ship design I came up with. I made a boo-boo because on my other save file that I'm doing on my other Xbox Live profile, where I'm just experimenting with different ways of playing this game, I built this like awesome ship, and it was massive. It had like lots of habs and stuff in it, but the design was super slick, and it was sort of this triangle design like this. It was basically this design, but like more of a thick boy, like 3 deep instead of being one thick like this is. It was 3 thick, and it was layered, and but it actually looked even nicer than this. It was really slick looking. It felt less like many of the ships in this game feel like it's very obvious that you've cobbled together like all these pieces to build a ship. But that one felt like a complete starship, which I really liked. But then I built that, and then I got back into playing on this account more for filming these videos, and I didn't realize that I'd built that ship and played around with it and stuff, but I had never done a manual save after doing that. So I did a bunch of stuff on that file just with autosaves. Like, I'm talking like maybe a good solid like 5 or 6 hours of gameplay just on autosaves. And then I went back to that account because I wanted to look at that ship design to help inspire me for doing a similar ship design on this playthrough. And the first thing I did when I booted up that account is I loaded the manual save because I'm dumb. I don't know why, but it was the first thing I did. I loaded the manual save, and then I proceeded to fuck around for a bit, and in doing so, I overwrote all of the autosaves and lost like 6 hours of gameplay because I didn't realize that I hadn't backed up the manual save. Like, when I finally got around to like being done messing around, and I was like, okay, so anyway, let me take a look at that ship. It was gone. Like, I never built it. I was in a world before I had built it. So I don't even remember how I pieced together that ship to make it look so cool. This ship looks a little less cool, but I like the little tail fin I ended up with on the back. That's actually storage. A couple storage modules. That ended up looking kind of slick on the top of the ship there. And I'm not mad that it's only one thick. There are things I really like about it. It's got max speed and maneuverability. Uses those 180 engines and doesn't sacrifice too much to achieve that. The Vanguard shield helped a lot with managing the weight for it. Anywho, I once again have gone off on a tangent and ended up talking a bunch and taking no actions. This is again going to be... It's again going to be one of those videos where I... see, like, this looks like, especially from the top-down view, it's like that's a bunch of ship modules that have been cobbled together into a ship, right? There's no avoiding it. It very strongly looks that way. The interior of the ship is super dope, though. I might show it off in a bit.
From what I'm seeing, this world has all the essential building blocks to support life.
Sarah and I have landed on Cassiopeia 1, near the campsite where her old shuttle crashed years ago. I should speak to her to begin investigating how to track down the second crash site, the location of her crew. This is so interesting. It's exactly like with the Andrea quest, where like I landed and I immediately saw the rock pile where she had buried her prized possession. But the game wanted me to talk to her before approaching it.
Greetings, Captain.
Hi, Vasco. Can you do me a solid, Vasco, and not... like, don't talk when I'm talking to Sarah. I'll be mad.
I can't believe I'm here. It feels like walking into a dream.
Not saying that. That's a weird thing to say. I mean, I know how long it's been. It's been like a decade, right? We've said that many times. Like, this is like... as much as I like asking the questions and hearing the characters expound upon, like, do some world building, sometimes I'm like... my character saying this question is basically me being like, oh, I haven't paid attention to anything you've told me up to this point. You've got this, Sarah.
Thank you. Right now, I feel like I need all the help that I can get. Phew. Okay, so let me get my bearings for a moment. Yes.
Yeah, take your time.
Yes, this looks correct. Those rock formations nearby look familiar. My old campsite shouldn't be far.
Sounds good. Lead the way. Promise you'll let me know if this becomes too much to handle. I'm ready if you are. Anything we should be worried about between here and there?
You mean besides the dangerous terrain, vicious fauna, and the chance of getting lost? Nah, we've got nothing to worry about.
Okay. No matter what we discover, I'll be here to support you.
Knowing that is the only reason that I'm here. Once we get to the campsite, we'll use that as a starting point to search for the cruise shuttle wreckage. Let's go.
I will say, like, all the companions during this companion quest act like they are not fully functioning, like, capable adults on their own without... like, I get it. Like, the support of friends is important. It's important to have people that support you especially during emotionally trying times like this. But then also, like, it's a little heavy-handed. So, like, I would never have been able to do this without you. Like, okay. This has been on your mind all these years. Like, I'm glad I'm here now to support you, but you really probably should have built some sort of support structure in your life before literal decades had passed since your trauma. Like, it's okay though. I'm here now. I'm here for you to lean on, Sarah. I'm happy to do it. You're a good friend and you're a good person. Sarah's crash site. Wow, what a title drop.
This must be some debris from my shuttle. Not exactly a textbook landing, but I didn't have much of a choice. Keep scanning. I'm sure there's something nearby.
I do like that a little better than Andrea's constant, like, did your scan reveal anything of interest? What did your scan reveal? Proceed to Sarah's old campsite. Check. I usually read the quest update between each step, but I did just skip one. It's okay, though. I think we need to talk to Sarah now, apparently. Sarah and I have landed on Cassiopeia 1 near the campsite, blah, 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 blah. No, there's nothing new in the description, but the objective is now to speak to Sarah.
Well, this is it. This is the spot where I spent close to a year waiting for rescue. Not exactly Paradiso, is it?
Whoa. Up until this point, I've been assuming that she was rescued almost immediately after that battle. I had no idea. She spent close to a year on this planet. Like, having to, like, struggle to survive. That's actually crazy. I almost, like, that's part of her trauma I didn't fully understand. This is condescending. How'd you possibly walk away from this crash?
You in deep thought or
Paradiso?
something?
What's that? I can't even imagine what it must have been like.
It was difficult and painful, but it kept me alive. It was home. Look at this thing. It's been sitting here rusting. I think we need to grab an emergency power cell to get the ship's computer up and running.
Luckily, an EPC that's been idle for 2 decades should still have enough juice to power up a computer.
That's an excellent point. I hadn't taken degradation into account. I'm glad I brought you along. When I was stranded, I set up a distress beacon powered by emergency power cells. The beacon was up there on the plateau. I guess it's time to start climbing.
Yeah, see, this is interesting to me because there's been, like, I want to say like 4 or 5 different points in the game where they've done this sort of emergency power cell gathering quest objective. Oh, shit, I did not realize that was a loading screen door. I wouldn't have clicked on it. Well, we're in here now, so let's not waste it. Take the opportunity to look around. Oh, I thought we had a slate over here with some juicy Sarah lore on it. We do have a computer. I like the set piece of her, like she was working on stuff, like repairing things, keeping herself sane. Nova Galactic Manual 01? Really? Wow. Permanently reduces fuel needed for a grav jump by an additional 1%. It's actually very slick. and then like the ship repair, but like this is all very purposefully placed here. Every little bit sort of tells some. It's good environmental storytelling, is what I'm trying to say. It tells a story of her like living here for a year and struggling to survive. So this is where I plug in the power cell once I go get it. And this is the computer that still looks like it has plenty of power. I can see the OS screen right here, but if I click on it, I assume... Oh. Oh. Sorry, I just bumped my mic, but I was not expecting... Okay. Emergency power system. Current power status red. Warning, memory preservation mode active. Warning, this computer is running on low-yield battery power to preserve system memory. The system cannot be accessed until an alternative power source is connected. If you believe this warning has been reached in error, please inform a maintenance technician or the on-duty deck officer immediately. Telemetry data. Tracking data not available. Warning, memory preservation mode active. Warning, telemetry data not available. Right, that's the thing we need, right? Is the telemetry data. Can I read our personal logs though? Not available until you get more. Okay, so we can't do anything here yet, which I assumed was the case. But I was just gonna peek inside, assuming it was just a regular door. But it was a loading screen door. Whoops, my bad. We need to go up there. We're gonna encounter some hostile fauna along the way. It's
got anything on your
admittedly
scanner?
pretty predictable, but I'm okay with that. They always want to add a little bit of spice to their go-see quests. Like, this is just like, go from point A to point B, and then return from point B to point A. So you know there's going to be like, there's going to be some battles here. We're going to fight something. I'm ready. Bring it. This is weirdly also called Sarah's crash site. I feel like we already gave a location that.
Setting up this beacon probably saved my life. Who knows how long I would have been stranded here.
Hmm.
Open fire!
Oh look, hostile fauna!
I don't even need to.
Hostile fauna attacking as soon as I picked up the quest objective. No one could have predicted such an event. I have never seen a level 100 anything in this game. I assume that's the max level that alien fauna can be. I'm actually a little bit taken aback by how difficult these enemies are. I am still on very hard mode, to be fair. Oh, come on, game. That's rude. The game's bugging out a little bit right now. It's not letting me jump. Okay, there we go. Come on, game. I did such a good job getting to the top of this, so that I could use it as a vantage point and not have to risk my life fighting these things. We are still in combat, right? Like, what happened? Hold on. Let's take a look at our quest, shall we? The telemetry data for Sarah's crew crash site is within her former shuttle's wreckage. I need to find an emergency power cell to bring to her old computer, back online. It just says install the power cell now. Is my other? Wait, no, that's Sarah. There's actually part of me that was quite excited about fighting the highest level monsters I've seen in the game so far. But for some reason it took that away from me and had the level 100 one that I was especially interested in killing to see how much experience it gave me. Like a run away or something. It's gone now. It's not even on my radar anymore. That actually is a little annoying. Is it back now? Oh my god.
Long way down.
Alright, so I'd like to say that I was less annoyed by them taking away those creatures that I wanted to fight
Whoa, where did they go?
than I was about them randomly spawning them in on top of me because I hadn't taken them out yet. That was super
Looks
dumb.
like we're in the clear.
Not a fan. I almost died, which I honestly don't even know how big of a setback that would have been. But had I died, I'd be pretty much raging at the game right now for doing it that way.
Was that you?
Like, it's happening again right now. Like it ran away. Like we've killed 2 out of 3 of these monsters now, and it ran away again. There we go. I didn't see how much XP I got for the level 100 one because I was just like emptying clips into it, hoping to survive. Wait, is it still alive? No, this is something different. This experience is definitely reinforcing something I mentioned during the Andrea quest, which is that I think these companion quests, the enemies you encounter during them, scale to your level, which is unique to these quests. I don't think any other quest in the game does that. But like, there's no way that if you make Sarah your main companion from the start of the game and get this quest around like level 20 or something, that you come here and fight level 100 fauna. Like, no. That's happening because I'm level 79 and for no other reason. Like there's no way. Alright, I think we're done with the combat. Goodness. I had to pop some med kits like Tic Tacs there to survive, but we made it. That's what I've been hoarding them for, so. Oh yeah, I was gonna say this earlier, but I got distracted. There's been like 5 or 6 of these like collect the power cell quests throughout the game, and for the other ones I've done, not for this one I don't think, but for the other ones I've done, there's been extras left over at the end. Like when we broke into NASA, there was a few of them scattered around, and you needed like 1 to power the elevator. When we returned to Vectera, there was like 5 of them scattered around, but you needed like 3 of them to power up the computer again. So I'm really curious if I just like, I think I even have a couple of them stashed at my base or at my home in Aquila somewhere. I'm curious if I like just been like, I don't really feel like climbing that mountain, and if I'd gone like back to my base and like grabbed an emergency power, because it's the same asset. If I'd brought it here and plugged it in, would it have just skipped that annoying step? I feel like it would have, right? Anyway. I know we're here for the telemetry. Alright, let's check this out now. Current power status, orange. Alternate power source detected. This computer system is functioning on an alternative power source. It will continue to function normally provided the power source remains connected. The system has detected that the computer isn't connected via the expected power couplings. Please reconnect all powerful couplings to the ship's main power to fully clear this warning. Wait, did I miss a quest objective step? The telemetry data for Sarah's crew crash site is within her former ship's... no. It says analyze the telemetry data, right? Okay. But, I mean, obviously the first thing we're going to do is read Sarah's personal logs right in front of her face because, you know, why not? It's been 2 days since my crash landing on Cassiopeia 1. I've been slipping in and out of consciousness. Ooh, she had a rough landing indeed. But I've been able to use emergency meds to keep my pain levels to a minimum. Medical self-assessment has revealed 3 cracked ribs, a broken forearm, a minor concussion, probable internal damage, and a hell of a lot of bruises. Woof. It's honestly a very impressive feat and a miracle that she survived. I'll do the best that I can to push through, but I can't allow my injuries to keep me from reaching Shuttle 2. So even broken and battered as she was, just 2 days after her crash landing, she was already set on that path. She was already convinced that that's what she wanted to do. It's crazy that it took her 20 years, 10 years to get back here to finally complete that objective. Tomorrow, I plan to do a full reconnoitre. Reconnoitre? I pronounced that right? The first time? Reconnaissance is what I'm going to say. Of the area and search for some high ground to place my distress beacon. Like a broken arm and internal damage and lots of pain and like fractured ribs. Like she should be letting her ribs heal at least and not like hiking up that mountain and fighting with the local fauna. That's crazy. Like I can understand the want to get that distress beacon working as soon as possible. But even though she made that the first thing she did, it still took a year. That's so crazy. With any luck, some ships are still in orbit and they'll receive my signal. Yeah, I guess she didn't have any luck, did she? For now, I'm going to rest, eat a bit of my food rations, and pray that the other shuttle isn't too far from my location. Using the telemetry data and geomapping charts I had in my slate, I was able to track down exactly where Shuttle 2 went down. Unfortunately, it appears to be located several thousand kilometers away, making it impossible to reach on foot. Even if the planet was hospitable and the terrain accommodating, I'm in no physical condition to even attempt such a journey. Additionally, with my distress beacon and all my supplies located at this crash site, I don't dare leave it behind. I'm afraid my crew will have to deal with whatever hardships they've encountered on their own. All I can do at this point is pray they're safe. So I guess the mystery was the fate of the crew. I from her initial telling of the story a couple dialogues ago, I thought it was being implied that because of what she saw as the shuttle was departing, it was assured that they had crashed too violently into the planet to have survived, that they were all justifiably presumed dead. But it sounds like there was maybe some uncertainty surrounding whether or not they had survived. I mean, they're obviously all dead at this point, but anyway, it's been nearly a month, and I'm down to my final 3 power cells. If I want to make them last, I'm going to have to disconnect them from my ship's computer system. Right. That's what the warning was talking about. Which means I lose access to my computer and my short-range transmitter. If Shuttle 2 makes any attempt to reach out for me, all they're going to receive is silence. I mean, I think they all died on impact, and that's what we're going to find, and it's going to sort of set her mind at ease about the long delay. I mean, as tragic as that will be, I think that's the best possible thing we could find. It's especially reinforced by these log entries where she was just like, the last thing I want to do is abandon them, but I'm needing to make decisions that are essentially me abandoning them for my own survival's sake. It's one of those things like that's why on planes they tell you like put on your own oxygen mask first. Like you need to help yourself first. You need to be in a good place yourself first before you can help other people. Otherwise, you're going to do more harm than good. It's a horrible decision to have to make, but if Shuttle 2 hasn't contacted me by now, it's unlikely that they ever will. I don't know if that means their comm system is simply damaged, or if they've left their crash site, or if they're even alive. My only hope is continuing to power the distress beacon in hopes of being picked up and then searching for them from the air. Alright, let's get that telemetry data. Ew, what is this? Object Alpha, Object Beta? I was not expecting there to be two things here. Alpha? Oh, that's the UC Dauntless. Origin point Cassiopeia 1 orbit. Termination point telemetry lost, ship destroyed. Okay. Useless information. Object Beta, that's what we came here for. Telemetry Object Beta, UC Dauntless Escape Shuttle 02. I don't know why, but the OCD in me wishes that the crew had been in Shuttle 01 and that Sarah had launched in Shuttle 02 second. You know, it makes no difference in the grand scheme of things, and it's honestly more realistic that the sequence is not lined up with the numbers, but like it does make me itchy. Termination point Cassiopeia 1 surface grid point 677 AG 9012. Origin point Cassiopeia 1 orbit, of course. Shuttle 2 crash telemetry calculations are now being transferred to local data slate. I kind of figured you might want to talk to me, Sarah.
We've located where the other shuttle went down. I can't believe our plan worked.
Of course it did, Sarah. Well, you brought the right that's there's definitely opportunities in this game to have like the universe's biggest ego. Well, look at this nice alternative dialogue choice. We shouldn't celebrate until we've confirmed the location. Like, why would I need to be a negative Nancy at this point? Are you certain this telemetry data is accurate?
Don't even joke. If this data is faulty and we end up being pointed to a pile of rocks...
Well, I wasn't...
Oh, I don't even know what we'd do next. I'm fairly certain I was able to capture all the data before I hit the ground. I'll try not to worry about it if you won't.
Okay, yes, sorry, that was a little insensitive. You made this all possible,
Well,
Sarah.
we're not there yet. But damn, it does feel good.
I'm glad.
The telemetry data puts the wreckage out of range to hike. We're going to have to head back to the ship and land on a different part of the planet. Let's get going.
Apparently she forgot that she had already reached that conclusion when she was crashed here, because it's like in her logs that she already figured that out, but okay. She just rediscovered that it's too far to hike. We definitely didn't already know that. Nope. Find Felix Sadler? What? Hold on. With the power to Sarah's old shuttle partially restored, Sarah and I were able to locate the telemetry data and pinpoint her former crew's crash site. We should return to our ship and proceed there to continue the investigation. Okay. I'm not gonna spend like an hour trying to oh yeah, I named my new ship after my waifu. I just like this is like it's like this isn't the quest you're tracking right now, but there is another quest at this location, your ship, which is find Felix out. Like I have no idea what that is from. Like I don't know what that quest is, where it came from. We're just gonna ignore it because that's a thing for Between Videos Me to figure out. Between Videos Me, we'll figure out what that quest is and where it came from.
Ah, I never tire of visiting worlds like this.
She's saying her just like landing on a breathable planet dialogue, but like it's awkward considering the somber tone of this mission. Oh, we're going into a full-on cave here. Interesting. It's a cool set piece. Or we're going through a cave to the other side of the cave where we're going to see the crashed escape pod.
Oh, look at this view. Had I been on this planet under more pleasant circumstances, I might have had more time to appreciate the beauty it has to offer.
It really is a nice place.
Ha! Nice try.
Alright, we're going to let Sarah deal with whatever that is. I was trying to... Yeah. Sarah handled her business. Right, nothing else has changed. We're going to that shuttle. Let's just... Oh, yeah, I forgot. I actually completely forgot that I had a fractured limb. Hold on. Can I fix that? It was so recently that I dumped all my stuff away, so probably not. Every once in a blue moon, I clear out my aid. Can I still access my ship's cargo hold from here? I think it's in my ship. Is in my ship? Can I take this stuff? Well, let's just find fractured limb, fractured limb, fractured limb. I think I need like immobilizer. I mean, Panacea would work. Why not? If it'll let me take that, it did. Okay, perfect. I don't think there's anything better for that I have on me. But status effects annoy me, so... I mean, it says stable, but incoming damage is increased is probably the reason that I almost died like 5 times fighting those things on this planet, so... Before we... Like, there's inevitably going to be more combat between us and the ship, as evidenced by that thing that just jumped out to attack us. And it was my own dumb, like, panicky gameplay that caused me to fracture my limb, so let's just take care of that. Look, I do know how to use jetpacks to not fracture my limbs. It's amazing. Oh my god. Are you serious with me right now, game? I guess I can deal with food and drink are less effective. I literally just got rid of my status effect because I hate having a status effect, and it's like, now you're poisoned. Haha.
This is what's left of the cruise shuttle. But it looks like parts were scavenged and dragged somewhere else. Could there have been survivors?
God, for your sake, I hope not. It is like really unusually dark inside the shuttle. I can't see anything but what's directly in the beam of my flashlight. Almost to the point that it's unrealistic. Like, you're telling me the light from my flashlight isn't bouncing off anything and illuminating this space a little bit more, because holy crap. And like, it's not even that dark out here. Well, whatever. I know it's night, but like, come on. That's crazy. Oh no, this is going to be the worst case scenario, isn't it? They all survived. They built like a tree house here. They probably survived for years. Can't, you know, we're going to find some log entry that's going to be like, some are starting to lose hope. But I know that Sarah would never abandon us. She'll come back. I know it. Because I can already see there's like a tree house up ahead. This is awful. I genuinely wanted them to all have died on impact, because this is going to be worse. The only way this could avoid being worse.
Yeah. Supplies? A shelter? And the fire is still fresh. Is there someone here that's still alive?
Well, Sarah beat me to it. I was gonna say the only way that they could have this avoid being worse is if there's actually someone who survived all these years, but in a way that almost is the worst case scenario, because she was feeling bad about leaving this undone for so long, and this is just gonna like uber reinforce her feelings of, I made a horrible mistake by leaving this off for so long. Look, they've been growing food here. Oh my god. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad, Sarah. Please, whoever's here, please say you have lived a wonderful life here and you're so glad that circumstances led you to this place. You've never been happier, please. Oh wow, it really hasn't given me any updates to the actual quest description. Okay, here goes nothing. This is so bad. Sarah really did abandon them.
Stop. I'll shoot if I have to. Just turn around and leave. I know how to use this thing, and I will.
Oh my god. Who are you?
I'm nobody. Just go away. I'm not going to let anyone take my stuff again. No way. Both of you, just go.
Okay. I take it back. I'm sorry. The thing I described before was not the worst case scenario. The writers of this game were like, oh, you think that's bad? What if people survived and had a child on this hostile alien planet because they were abandoned by Sarah for so long, they had enough time to have a child, and then they ended up dying because, again, they're on a hostile alien planet, and now the child has been living here all alone, again, because Sarah abandoned them for so long. Holy shit.
Okay, this is getting a
Wow.
little weird.
I'm sorry, Sona. I'm just floored by how mean this game is being to Sarah. Damn. It, I will say that all the female children in the entire game have the same face, which is a little weird. Not just the same face, but that's not true, right? There's that blonde girl in Aquila City that has a unique face, but like, this is at least the third like Korra clone I've seen in the game that were like definitely distinct characters, but are
You
like
okay?
not even no attempt was made to make them look any different than Korra or even a different age or and like understandably the same voice actress, but like no attempt made to like change the voice or anything like some bad men came and took some of her stuff. Put that gun down before you hurt someone. We're not here to hurt you. What do you mean take my
Hey,
stuff
I'm
again?
not stupid. Last time people were here, they promised to help. They ended up tricking me. They stole all of my good stuff and left me behind. I'm not going to let that happen ever again.
And then because she doesn't have any parents here because they died due to this hostile planet that Sarah abandoned them on, she got like taken advantage of afterwards by some, like, fortunately they didn't physically harm her, but they like conned her and left her to die. Like, wow. We're not here to hurt you.
Yeah, sure. Try and trick me. No. No way. I'm not getting fooled again. Forget it.
Stop it right now. Put away that gun and talk to us. We want to know what happened here.
See? You're not nice at all. I knew it. You're a liar. That's all grown-ups do is lie.
Sarah turns to me like, "Can you believe the lip on this child?" Sarah, I feel like you're very good at assessing the situation and handling things well, but you clearly you're demonstrating a severe inability to read the room when it comes to children. Like, I was handling it, Sarah. You didn't need to
You're awfully quiet.
Yeah, Sarah, I don't know how best to handle this. I think Sarah, let me handle this, please. Is I feel bad talking down to Sarah like that, and I understand why her emotions are running high. And I feel like this is condescending towards the kid. I'm just gonna go with this, I guess. Sarah, stop. She's just a child, and you're making her
I'm so
upset.
sorry. I don't know what came over me. I was wrong to get so angry. We are here to help you, and we promise to tell the truth.
I don't know. You're kind of scaring me. Why should I listen to you?
Because we have giant guns that we're not aiming at you right now. Don't you think that's a strange question, seeing as you're the one pointing a gun at us?
That's because no one is fooling me ever again.
We can take you home. I mean, that's exactly what the other people promised. I think this will clue her in as to who we really are. Sorry, I fumbled this. Don't you think that's a strange question, seeing as you're the one pointing a gun at us? We're here to honor the crew that died on this planet.
The crew? No one's been looking for that crew since before I was born. So tell me another lie. Go ahead.
You were born here? Hold on. Oh my god. Your parents, your mum and your dad, what were their names?
Jenna and Elias. Why?
Jenna and Elias. Private Jenna Marsh and Corporal Elias Obrist. You're their daughter. Listen to me. I knew your parents. They worked with me on the Dauntless. I'm Commander Sarah Morgan.
Ooh, Sarah,
You're
maybe not name drop.
Sarah Morgan? Mom and Dad's captain?
Okay, maybe the name drop was good.
My parents used to talk
Never
about
mind.
you all the time. It's like a dream to finally meet you.
Oh, okay. Man, I was fully ready for her to be like, "You're Sarah Morgan, the one my parents hated, the one who abandoned us here." I'm not saying that if I can avoid it, because her parents are 1,000% dead. Do you know where you are right? What are these questions? What did your parents tell you about Sarah?
My parents told me she was in command of their ship in a huge battle. They said she was a hero and the bravest person they ever knew.
I think that's some stuff Sarah needed to hear. That they didn't blame her. Like, again, I was fully prepared for the they blamed her arc, but I think this is good for pulling it back from the edge of the worst case scenario. That's definitely something Sarah needed to hear for her own psychological well-being. Yeah, Sarah and I are glad we found you.
Well, I wish you wouldn't have taken so long.
Oh, woof.
My parents are dead. My father died a long time ago. And my mother, she was killed by those monsters at the graveyard. It's just me here now.
Graveyard.
All by myself.
Let me ask you a question. Actually, I don't even know your name.
Oh, yeah. My name's Sona.
Sona. What a lovely name. Sona, you mentioned a graveyard. Is that where the crew is,
Buried? Yeah. It's a bunch of stones with those necklaces like the ones my mom and dad had hanging on them.
Thank you, Sona. I'm going to talk to my friend here a minute, okay?
Okay, Sarah.
Just after I'm like, oh, that was good for Sarah to hear for psychological well-being, there was the 1-2 punch of psychological trauma. Like, why did you take so long to get here? Oof. My parents are dead, and the whole crew is buried in a graveyard nearby. Oof, oof. They died because they were abandoned on this hostile planet. Oof, 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 oof. Poor Sarah. Damn. They really did a number. This one's crazy. It is so crazy. Speak to Sarah. The young girl has turned out to be Sonia, the daughter of two of the UC Dauntless's crew who had her while being marooned on this world. Sonia told us that all of the crew, including her parents, died and were buried nearby. It's not funny. It's not funny. Humor is my defense mechanism. I'm crying on the inside, but it is kind of funny, right? It's kind of so bad. Constellation Guide 03. Permanent use 15% less O2. Well, moving when over encumbered 15% is a huge bonus to get from one of these. I didn't realize these ones were so good. I mean, it's a rare situation. That's why it's such a big bonus. But like, I find myself in that situation a lot, actually. So I love the aesthetic of this this like overgrown home that she's living in. Like half ship and half nature. Like the trees like growing through it and stuff. So cool. Such a cool like treehouse like crashed shuttle mix. I'm wondering how they managed to drag this whole like section of the shuttle all the way from over there to up here and get it up into a tree. I want to talk to you, but give me a sec. She had some books and some toys and some things to play with. And a bed. Where did her parents sleep here? Maybe her parents slept on the cot and she slept on the couch. Maybe she's ditched her parents' bed since they passed away. We haven't really gotten a timeline for that, right? Like, how long has she been here alone? And, like, good on her for surviving on a hostile alien planet by herself for so long. And being, like, ready with a gun in case some people came in. Good for you, girl. She's been girl bossing it here. All right, Sarah, that was difficult to even listen to, knowing how you feel about things. Are you okay?
Phew. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a fucking lot. I feel you. I can't even imagine how you're feeling right now. That was. Yeah, are you gonna be all
I'm trying
right?
to hold it together. There's just too much coming at me all at once, you know?
I do
just so
know.
relieved
I
that
am
you're here.
floored right now.
There's absolutely no way I could have handled this alone.
Yeah, no shit, right? Damn. This is so much. This is a little intense. I can't even imagine how you're feeling right now.
This isn't what I expected. At all.
Yeah, me
There's
neither.
so
I
much
thought
to
we were
process.
coming here to bury some bodies.
But I don't
that's
have
it.
time to deal with it right now. If you want to help, then find that graveyard and bring me those necklaces Sona mentioned. I'm hoping they're my crew's gene tags.
So, gene tags have come up in this game before. I'm realizing now it wasn't in this series that they came up as much. If you side with the Crimson Fleet and end up sieging
hello?
the Valiant. Why can't I remember the name of the ship right now? Vigilance. The UC Vigilance. When you kill the crew of the UC Vigilance as you're fighting your way through the ship, every single one of them drops their gene tag. So if you're like going through the ship killing everyone, which is what I did on my other playthrough, you end up collecting like amassing like a bit of a collection of gene tags. And I think they have been mentioned before, even in this series, but I just don't recall when specifically. It's definitely something that's come up. Like, what did Hadrian give me her gene tag to like? She did, right? She gave me her gene tag to like prove to the bartender that I was really working for her, right? I think that happened, right? That wasn't too long ago. I don't know why I'm acting like that's
a big mystery when that came up. But I've been under the impression, anyway, I've been aware of gene tags since before then, is my point. And I've been under the impression the whole time that they're like dog tags. They're just like sci-fi dog tags, right? And I've assumed that they're just sci-fi dog tags that like for sci-fi fancy sci-fi reasons contain the genetic information of the person, so that they're like, it says like, this is such and such, and this was their rank, and this was their assignment, and this is their genetic code. So if you find this around a charred body that can't be otherwise identified, you can sequence the genetics and confirm that it is the body of the person that belongs to this gene tag. But I'm suddenly curious if they're more significant than that. We've definitely established that, like, cloning is a thing that the UC does. I wonder if, like, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. We'll see what happens. What's a
It's
gene
an
tag?
identification tag worn by UC military personnel. It's encoded with the soldiers' medical information and a sample of their DNA. If we can bring them back to Jemison, it would be like bringing home the crew's bodies for a proper burial.
All right, first of all, rude to imply that they didn't get a proper burial here. But I do understand where you're coming from, Sarah. This does sort of play into what I was about to get at, which I'm still not going to go into it because I could probably talk in this for an hour, but it does not just contain information about their genetics. It does include a sample of their DNA. I don't know if that's meaningful for what's to come, but it's interesting nonetheless.
This silence is getting awkward.
I don't want to say any dialogue that implies that I think Sarah's weak. They've given me one in almost every dialogue tree with her where I can imply that she's helpless and weak and frail and can't handle things, but I'll head up there right away.
Good. Just be careful.
Yeah, no problem. I know I'm going to have to fight
Monsters
some more alien
are
critters.
undoubtedly hostile life forms that have claimed the graveyard as their territory.
Yeah, they've been heavy-handedly hinting that was going to... So she's just going to sit on the couch here and wait. Perfect. Do you have any dialogue, by the way? I meant to talk to you before I talked to Sarah, but I forgot. Oh, these are kind of rude questions, but I'm curious about them immensely. Can you tell me more about these people that took your stuff?
Bunch of jerks. They pretended to be nice, but they were really mean. They made all these promises. They said they'd take me with them if I helped them load all of my stuff onto their ship. When I went to get the last bit of stuff that I had hid, they already took off and flew away. I think I cried for a whole day.
I don't mean to laugh, but that is like the meanest way they could have gone about that. Like tricking her into helping them load stuff onto their ship. I like all of her stuff too. And then like she's going back for her last bit of things and they're like, okay, peace. Yeah, if there's any option to like track down the mother truckers that abandoned this child and stole all her things, we are doing it. Could you tell me more about what they looked like, what they wore?
I don't know. There was one lady and two guys. The lady was the one pretending to be nice to me. They were wearing spacesuits and had all kinds of guns. One of them had a big scar on his face. They looked pretty scary. I think I heard one of them say they were from the fleet or something like that. Sounded weird to me.
Crimson Fleet, well done. I'm happier now than ever that in this playthrough I dismantled the shit out of the Crimson Fleet. Fuck them guys, right? If I stumbled upon this after siding with the Crimson Fleet, I'd feel some kind of way about my life choices. You had every right to be
You
upset.
sound just like my mom. She was always telling me, it's okay to be upset all the time. The only problem is, it never made me feel better. When I get older, if I ever see those jerks again, I'm gonna make them give me all my stuff back.
If it makes you feel any better, they're probably all in prison now, thanks to me.
Why are you ignoring me?
I'm not. There's just this weird thing in this game where if the NPC has a lengthy dialogue, then it immediately when they finish saying it, they act like you've been silent for a long time. How have you survived on this planet all alone?
Mom was a doctor on her ship, so she taught me how to gather food and medicine from the plants. She also taught me how to shoot this gun, in case bad people or monsters tried to get me. Didn't help me save her, though.
Is it alright if I ask you about your parents?
Yeah, I guess.
Jeez. Let's get to it. I mean, I basically know what happened to her mother, so I sort of feel like they brushed over what happened with the father. He died of illness, I believe. What happened to your father?
Mom told me Dad got hurt when their ship crashed on this planet. He was always lying down and sleeping a lot. But I don't know what made him so sick. I was really little when he died, so I don't remember a lot about him.
Oh, wow. So he sustained injuries from the crash that persisted, and he died just a few years after the crash. That's rough. I can't imagine being like injured and knowing that you're on your deathbed, well, quite literally, and then watching, someone you've grown fond of through your plight, become pregnant and get bigger and give birth and not not have the strength to help them and know that you won't be there for your child. Woof. This just gets worse. This story gets sadder and sadder. Sarah, why did you wait so long to come here? What the
Okay,
now,
this
now
is
I'm kind
getting
of
a little
low-key
weird.
mad at Sarah for being so traumatized she couldn't handle it coming back here. What happened to your mother?
Well, every day my mom would go up to the graveyard to visit Dad.
Oh man.
Sometimes she'd let me go, sometimes I'd stay here. There was this one day where I couldn't go, and she never came back. I was really scared. I finally went up there and found her, but she was hurt really bad. I couldn't even bring her home. At least I was able to hug her before she died.
Sarah just sitting there on the couch listening to this, like, oof, oof, oof. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Let me ask
you
you
want.
something else. I don't like this. I'm not going to ask this question. Like, obviously her mother taught her English. Well, okay, I'm going to ask it just because I'm curious about her. I want to hear her, see if we get any more world building out of it. If you've been here all your life, how have you learned
you
to
okay?
speak so well?
Mom had slates with learning stuff on them. She used them to teach me how to read and do science. Oh, and math too. Ugh.
Yeah,
I
none
think
of
we
us like
looked at that
math.
stuff every day. She called it school time. I miss that. I miss her too.
Oh, I'm sorry, kid. That's rough. Thank you for being open with me and talking to me about these difficult topics. You're very, very mature for your age, and I'm sorry you had to grow up so fast.
I'm watching you.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not stealing your stuff. Although it does just say take, but I won't. I won't take anything. All right, time to go fight some random cryptids and collect some dog tags so that Sarah can have closure. Man, I just wish it wasn't. Hold on for a second, actually. Oh, Sarah's up and about. Sony, do you mind if I just use your cot to take a quick nap, so I can go in the daylight up to wherever? Are you cool with that? Yeah. So it's 3 in the morning. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's go to 8:17. Well, 5-hour sleep. That'll give me enough time to get get one REM cycle in at least. Clear out the brain fog. Oh no. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought my game had crashed. It might still do. But I did just go out and come back in. So I think we have autosaves that'll save us if that happens.
Hey there. Time to get moving.
Yeah, I know, Sarah. I know. I'm on it. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is cool. I didn't notice this before. Look. I mean, it's not exactly the perfect paper to be drawing on, but she has some really cool neon markers. I love this green. And the blue, too, honestly. I feel like there's maybe some hidden meaning here. That's why I'm staring at it for so long. There was a few things there that sort of caught my attention. It's like, oh, I wonder if that means this. But I'm not going to spend... I could spend probably an hour speculating on the meaning behind that child's drawing. I should really just carry on, yeah? Now, I got to assume there's a path from... This is so much better already. Like, if we just had continued past this cabin, yeah, this is the way. Like, this is nice, you know. Buried up on a hill, out in nature where they died. Honored by the survivors for as long as they survived. I don't feel like it's really necessary to... Oh, here's the place we're going to get ambushed. Oh no, an ambush. Who could have ever anticipated? No, I'm just kidding. I guess that wasn't that bad. They've a couple times in this game had these creatures that have like sunflowers for heads. Really weird. The weirdest of the cryptids that this game features. They're just scavengers too. They're not like... Just want to kill this one because it's going to stalk me forever if I don't. What? What just happened? Hold on. I slept until 8 a.m. and the act of me walking up this hill advanced the local time to it's already 6:14 p.m. This planet must have an insane... Wait, I can see, can't I? No, it's 1.04 G, so what the heck? Either this game has an insanely quick day-night cycle, or the game developers really, really badly wanted me to approach this graveyard at night so I could see the glowing thing that they put so much effort into. I'm kind of thinking it's the latter, but it was very jarring, because I went out of my way to make it day so I could see what I was doing. The game devs were just like, nope, no you don't. I like how they made the gravestones out of like scraps of metal from the wreckage. Only 5 out of 10, huh? What in the... Oh, a boss. It's a boss fight. Greater Silverfish. Oh, I missed what the objective was. But the objective marker was clearly on that critter. I've somehow gotten up to 9 out of 10 gene tags, even though... Also worth noting is that level 100 is no longer the highest level I've ever seen a creature in this game. And I take back what I said earlier about it being probably the max level, because that thing was level 110. So, I mean, I get it, right? This is the creature that killed her mother and ate her body. And so I had to put it down so I could get the final gene tag. Yeah. I understand the environmental storytelling. I get it. Time to return to Sarah in the dark. Now I can find out for sure, though. Yeah, so only 20 minutes have passed in local time while I was doing all that. So the game was coded to, like, when I reach the top of this hill, I'll be like, just like, no matter what time of day it is, in actuality, we're going to advance it to nightfall. So that they have to collect the gene tags and fight these critters in the dark. So funny. Makes me feel like a real silly goose for going through the rigmarole of advancing time to morning. I know they won't acknowledge this at all, but I just got contusions. Are you serious with me right now, game? I wasn't being that reckless. Whatever. We're just a mess. I know they won't acknowledge it, but I feel like this will have been another traumatic event for that little girl, because I essentially did exactly what her mother did. I set off for the graveyard in the morning, and then an entire day passed, and I didn't return. So bad. returned to Sarah. After a short discussion, Sarah's decided to remain with Sonia while I retrieve the... Right.
No!
Nothing new there.
No! How many times do I have to say it? I said I don't want to go! Leave me alone!
Sona, calm down and listen to me. It's much too dangerous to stay here all by yourself, darling.
I don't care. This is my home. You can't make me leave.
We can't leave her here. It's not...
All right, hold on a second. So I'm going to reload that autosave I just got. I think what potentially just happened is I was supposed to encounter a set piece when I made it back to the shuttle, but because Sarah's NPC for whatever reason was sitting down, we only got the second half of it. So I'm just like, there's probably no chance of me fixing that. But I do want to just reload. I want to give the game a chance to do that the way they intended, at least. Because that definitely seemed like out of left field. Well, like, I fully expected Sonia to feel that way and for that to come up at some point, because obviously we're not leaving her here. She can become my new adoptive daughter since Cora has disowned me. As far as I'm concerned, she's welcome as a member of my crew if she doesn't want to, like... I kind of just want to stand here at the door for a minute and see if that plays out correctly. I'm going to approach Sonia carefully.
No! How many times do I have to say it?
Sarah's literally sitting across the room
Leave me
silently.
alone!
She just starts freaking out.
Sona,
I feel like there's a
calm
missing
down
line of
and
dialogue here,
listen to
but...
me. It's much too dangerous to stay here all by yourself, darling.
I'm just going
I
to
don't
move
care.
on.
This is my home. You can't make me leave.
We can't leave her here. It's not safe. She has to come back with us to Jemison. Oh, I don't know what to do.
Does she, though?
Can you talk to her?
I can. Like, she's been surviving here on her own for... I don't know how long it's been. But... long enough to have a whole side adventure with some space pirates that came here. Oh, wow. And I actually have some dialogue options that are very interesting. Don't worry, we'll do whatever it takes to bring her to safety, so I can take Sarah's side in this. I agree, but we can't force her to come with us.
You in deep thought or something?
Like, the part of me that values freedom, that... like, my character is very pro-freedom. That's why I'm big on the Freestar Collective and all that. I like that dialogue choice a lot. We'll come back to that in a second. She's been doing fine without any help. That's sort of the same choice, but me, making an argument on Sonia's behalf, which sort of implies that I'm on her side and think she should stay, which I don't think is a good choice. This should be Sonia's decision, not yours. I like this because Sonia's obviously going to hear whatever I say. This lets her know that I want her to have agency. I feel like this is the best middle ground. I still think this is my good choice. I agree, but we can't force her to come with us. Because that says, first of all, I agree with you, Sarah. I'm not arguing the point. Like, she's a child. She'd be better off if she came with us. But also, like, because she's for sure listening to this conversation, implies that I still think she should have some agency in the matter. I agree, but we can't force her to come with us.
I know. I'm not proposing we knock her out for God's sake. Look, maybe you can talk some sense into her. Help her make a decision. I'm sorry. I can't do this right now.
I
Understand,
can
Sarah.
hear you talking about me.
I
And I
do,
don't
but-
care
yeah, I
what
know.
either of you say. I'm not going anywhere.
Look, I'm clearly out of my element here and not in the right state of mind. Could you just talk to her, please?
That line Sarah said about talk some sense into her. Let me just tell you. That is some condescending shit, and kids never want to hear parents talking about them in the third person like that and saying talk sense into. Because the implication is that they're being nonsensical and unreasonable. And what they're saying and what they're feeling is maybe perfectly valid and makes sense to them. So it's so bad. Like like I feel like I'm learning that Sarah is bad with children. I feel like all of them, like Sarah and Andrea both, I've like my character, like I know they're romanceable options, but I feel like both of them would be like they would be on a struggle filled path to becoming good mothers if that was possible for them because damn. I know Sarah's going through a lot right now. I shouldn't give her too much shit. Upon returning from the gravesite, I found Sarah and Sonia at an impasse. I mean, I didn't really because I think we missed the line of dialogue, but that's okay. Sonia wants to remain behind on her world. I mean, yeah, it's that turn of phrase caught me off guard, but it really is her world, isn't it? She was born here. This is her homeworld for all intents and purposes. Well, Sarah wishes to bring her back to New Atlantis. I'll have to decide which option to choose. I mean, allow Sonia to stay or convince Sonia to leave. I'm going to do a nice solid chunky manual save before we make a decision about this.
Why won't Sarah listen to me?
Oh, this dialogue tree is fraught with peril. Like, I feel like she's going to have a quick counter to all of these. Like, she's worried about your safety. I've been fine on my own so far. She cares a great deal about her. She just met me. She feels responsible for your situation. Then why didn't she come before? Don't you trust Sarah? I just met her. But I do want to ask this.
I mean, kinda. I just met her.
Fair. Very fair.
The only reason I'm trusting you at all is because my mom and dad said Sarah was a good person. I know she probably wants to help me out, but I really wish she'd listen to my part of the story.
I want to listen. Tell me more. I'm open to you making the argument for staying here. Oh, this is... I feel like this and this are the truth. Right? She feels responsible for your situation and she's worried about your safety. I feel like could be a single dialogue line and doesn't need to be separate because they go hand in hand.
Why are you ignoring me?
I'm not, dear. She cares a great deal about you, I feel like is a lie. Like, she really cares. She cares about herself. I mean, honestly. She feels responsible for your... feel like maybe this is the best choice though, even though it's maybe a lie. Like it's maybe the best thing to say though. She feels responsible for your situation.
Mom told me 1,000 times that it wasn't Sarah's fault that that I'm stuck here. That still doesn't mean I should leave the only home I ever had, does it?
Let's continue talking about that. I feel like that went pretty well. You're right. We should honor your choice to stay. If you stay here alone, you'll never be able to start. What the fuck? Someone needs to check the hard drive of whatever developer put this dialogue option in the tree. Like, what the hell? That is not the only purpose of women in existence, writer. That is so
Okay, this is
what the
getting a
hell?
little
I'm so
weird.
like thrown off by like but you're a baby maker. You need to make babies. Right? That's your only drive and motivation in life is to make babies because you're you're of the baby making gender. So we should get you back to where you can find a man to make babies with, right? We want you to find an even better home. I'm going to ask this first, of course. You really think this is the best place for you to live for the rest of your life?
Mom and Dad told me there was a whole universe out there with thousands of planets. They showed me the maps and the star charts. That does sound pretty cool, but it's also kind of
Yeah,
scary.
I do think it's fear that's holding her back,
It
so it's
would
good
be
to
hard to
address
leave
that.
the only home I've ever known.
Yeah, the unknown is scary, but it might be for the best in this situation. I'm not saying that. Who the fuck? Who had the audacity to add this dialogue option to the game? You won't be safe here for, well, duh, but we want to find you an even better home.
Well, I've always dreamed of finding a place that's safe from the monsters. But leaving Mom and Dad behind, it's really hard. Even though they're dead, I don't want to abandon them.
I will personally haul their skeletons back to the ship for you if the game gives me that choice. Even from far away, they'll always be close in your heart. When you're old enough, you could always come back and visit. Don't you think your parents would want you to be safe?
I am safe. Those monsters
Shit.
can't catch me. They've tried, but I learned how to trick them. They're pretty dumb. And if bad people visit here, I know how to hide. I was even watching you when you landed. I bet you didn't even see me. This planet doesn't bother me. That's why I'm not sure I need to abandon my mom and dad.
Oh, thank God. I started to get that panicky feeling that like, oh no, this is advancing the dialogue. That was my only choice. Oh, it's not going to take me back. And it did. That's how I thought she was going to respond before. If I'd said like, Sarah's worried about your safety, I think we would have gotten that same rant. Like I don't know. I really like this sentiment. I like all of these. I wish I
you
could say them
okay?
all. This is how I imagine this conversation actually going. Even from far away, they'll always be close in your heart. When you're old enough, you could always come back and visit. Your mom and dad would want you to live your best life. Right? Why can't that be a single speech that I give? um, but yeah, I think as far as like convincing a child to do what we're wanting, like this is kind of a cop out, and this is kind of like
Why are you ignoring me?
it's like copium, right? I guess that wasn't the exact word phrase I was going for, but basically, right? I feel like this is the best choice for convincing her. Your mom and dad would want you to live your best life.
I suppose you're right. Mom and Dad always promised that I'd leave here someday. I'm sorry I yelled at everybody. I know you and Sarah are just trying to help.
It's all right.
I'm going to go get my stuff and then I'll board your ship. Don't worry, I'll stay out of the way until we get, well, wherever we're going.
As far as I'm concerned, you can live on my ship forever. You're a delightful character.
Let me get my things together, and we'll talk later.
Okay. Speak to Sarah. That was definitely hit or miss whether I was going to make it through that dialogue in one piece. So let's save again, and then we'll talk to Sarah. Because that went about as good as I could imagine it going.
That poor girl. I hope we've made the right decision.
What? Excuse me, Sarah, are you honestly like starting to contemplate whether or not it would be better to just leave her here? It's because Sarah knows that she's going to be like a really cold and distant and weird mother to her, if anything, like, or she's going to end up in like the whatever the UC has for a foster care system, like they were planning to do for Bobby Katz when they thought his parents were dead. I haven't forgotten, Bobby, June 11th. There's no calendar system in this game, so I have no way of knowing when that date rolls around. In fact, it's kind of weird that they would still use the same months and days of the Earth calendar, considering they're on different planets now where it doesn't make sense. Everything doesn't rest on your shoulders, Sarah.
I realize that, but there's still cause for concern. We're ripping Sona from the only home she's ever known and casting her back into society. It's going to be difficult for her to adjust to the changes. Wherever she ends up, just promise me we'll check on her from time to time, please.
What the hell? Sarah's like, you need to convince her to come with us. It's the only way. Convince her to come with us. I'm like, okay. So I convince her, and then I go back to talk to Sarah. And Sarah's like, we're making a huge mistake. We're ripping her away from the only home she's ever known. It's going to be a huge culture shock. What are we going to do? Like, Sarah, what the fuck? Why are you doing this to me? If it'll make you feel better, then consider it done. I'll consider it. She has to live her own life. We're not her parents. Is a weird thing to say. I promise.
Thank you. Look, before we leave Cassiopeia behind, I wanted to say one more thing to you. Perhaps at the overlook we passed on the way here? I promise it won't take long. Let's go.
Okay.
It's tough to pack up a lifetime.
Oh shit. I'm sorry, Sonia. I didn't know you had dialogue that you wanted to get out. Did the game just... Oh, no. There we go. Sorry, Sarah. Hold on. We'll get to that in a minute.
Don't worry.
Sorry, Sonia.
I'll be on your ship when it's time to leave.
Okay.
Let's talk another time. Lots of stuff to pack up here.
Okay, don't worry. We will not leave without you. We're not like those Crimson Fleet jerks. Okay. This part of the quest is weirding me out a little bit. Mostly just the, like, Sarah wants to talk to me in private. Like, which makes sense to me. Oh, I guess we're just going up here. Okay, that's not that weird. She wants to get a good distance from Sonya so she doesn't hear what we're going to discuss. Sarah's going to talk about how she is not a good person or some such, right? Speak to Sarah.
Look, before we head back to the ship, I wanted to tell you how much of an amazing gift this has been.
I'm glad you feel that way,
had to
considering
push
how
me to
oofy
come
this
out
was.
here. And if I hadn't have listened to you, the universe would probably have never known about that little girl.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that I was finally the catalyst to get you to do the right thing after all these years. I'm still kind of ashamed that it took so freaking long for you to get back here, but I'm glad you're feeling positive about the experience. Ooh, we can really cross the gray line, can't we? I'd do anything for you, Sarah.
And I intend to repay you for that, even if it takes the rest of my life. You know, this is the second time I've been on this world. And until this very moment, I never stopped to reflect at just how magnificent it was. Oh, look at this place. This is the reason I'm out here, exploring the stars. Worlds upon worlds, just waiting to have their beauty discovered. Shedding this burden of my past has finally allowed me to open my eyes, wider than they've ever been opened before. And it's all because of you.
I'm hoping there's much more than simple gratitude tucked away in that statement. Wink. I only opened the door. You're the one that stepped through.
Still giving lessons to the teacher, eh? Some mentor I've turned out to be. Well, I suppose it's time to bid goodbye to Cassiopeia once again. This time, under much happier circumstances. Now, let's head back to Jemison. I want to give those gene tags you gathered to Admiral Logan and figure out what we're going to do with Sona.
Okay. Return to New Atlantis. I assume the game's not going to be mean and, like, if I just fast travel now, it's going to be like, you left her behind and then she killed herself. Well, no. After speaking with Sarah, we've decided to return to New Atlantis and close the chapter on the fate of the UC Dauntless's crew by speaking once again to Admiral Logan. Let's go straight to the Mast District. We did end up getting a whole episode of Sarah, and I'm not mad. This was a really fun and interesting companion quest. I enjoyed it. And I'm going to keep this video running until we
Let's pop into
reach its
Outland while we're
conclusion.
here
I think we're
and
close
see if
enough.
Joe has anything useful to add to our arsenal.
We're kind of in the middle of something, Sarah. Maybe later. But yeah, it'll be nice. We'll get this all wrapped up, and then we'll grab Barrett, and we'll continue the UC Vanguard quest with him in tow. Now, there's a lot of recruitable crew out in the settled systems that are named NPCs that you can recruit to your crew, and a lot of them have hinted at having backstories and like things that they're trying to achieve. feel some kind of way about that. Like, it's awesome, but it's also daunting. I'm obviously focusing on the members of Constellation, uh, instead of the like completely optional crew members. Um, but I'm not ruling it out that there are like quests and stuff like this for everyone you can recruit to your crew that has a name. So probably before the end of the playthrough, I'm going to try my best to just take one of those. Like maybe Marika Boros, I think, has the potential to be interesting. I don't know if Amelia Earhart has something, but it would be cool if she does. We'll see. If we finish with Barrett and Vasco doesn't seem to be going anywhere, we'll try one of the random named crew members that you can recruit. Maybe even one we haven't picked up yet. I know there's like there's one on Mars that's interesting, like a botanist of some sort, and then there's one in Aquila City you can pick up that's like she's studying medicine. My point is they have stuff going on. They're not just two-dimensional.
Those creatures killed UC citizens. They're not killing anymore.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Did you
Sarah,
find your
that was
answers?
startling. This mission wasn't for us. It was for the soldiers who owned these gene tags. Wow. Maybe these gene tags will answer your question. I hope you choke on them. Damn.
And we did it for the child that was marooned there. A child born from 2 of the crew that survived the crash.
This is so awkward.
After her parents died. That poor girl spent years surviving on that hostile world, alone. We abandoned her, Admiral. We let her down.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. How could we have possibly known?
Thank you, game, for like fixing the angle on this conversation, because I was like 3 seconds from reloading the game just so I could talk to him from a different angle. No apologies necessary. We're just glad that this is over. Don't apologize to us. Apologize to Sonia. By abandoning the crew of the Dauntless, you've dishonored their... Wow, I can be such an asshole. Don't apologize to us. Apologize to Sonia.
Sona. Is that her name?
Oh, Sona. I'm sorry. I've been mispronouncing
must be a
it the whole time.
remarkable young woman.
She is.
She's extraordinary, Admiral.
Oh, God.
And I'm afraid the United Colonies let her down.
You're absolutely right, Sarah. We did let her down. One thing that I can assure you is that the names of these men and women will never be forgotten. I'll see to it personally.
Thank you, Admiral.
Good luck to both of you. It's been an honor.
Once we're done here, we should have a little talk with Sona. Poor thing's waiting for us at the lodge.
Oh, is she? Okay. Okay. I didn't expect this to have any more steps beyond that one, but let's go. As promised, I will not leave this on a cliffhanger, even if this video runs 3 hours long. We'll finish things up. Seeing her in the lodge is going to be a little jarring because she is like a Korra clone.
Look at this place. It's just as we left it. You know, I've often wondered who keeps the lodge so meticulously clean.
It's Vasco. That's all Vasco's doing. I guess she's upstairs. Assuming this is like Sarah's bedroom.
Have you been up to the Eye recently?
I haven't needed to go up there in a bit. Why?
Oh, I just don't know how he does it. Up there all alone for so long.
Some people love that kind of space. Pun intended.
That's fun.
Yeah? Did you want to talk about something?
Kind of. I actually don't know why Sarah felt we needed to come talk to you, but I'm always a fan. You're such a cool character. Like, let's talk.
There you are. I was wondering when he'd come and say hi to me.
Hi.
Hello, Sona. I see you found your way to the lodge without any trouble.
We let her come here
Yeah,
on her own.
It was kind of
Funny.
hard, though. All these people around. Never seen so many people in my entire life.
Yeah, that's probably quite a bit of culture shock for her. I bet that was no. She's a brave cookie. Don't worry, she knows that. How did you find your way here on your own? I guess I'll ask.
Sarah gave me directions. She's really good at that.
She is a
Riding
navigator.
That map thing was super cool. It was like magic or something. Like something from the stories Mom used to read. But the hardest part was having everyone staring at me. All these people in one place. It's kind of scaring me. I don't know why.
I guess she was scared. I hope you like this place.
I think I like it. I don't know yet. It's all really new to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
You'll fit in just fine. You're one of the smartest people I've ever met. So,
Yeah, she is awesome.
What do you think? Do you like it here, Sona?
She literally just
At the
answered
lodge?
that.
Yeah, this place is huge. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. You must be like a bazillionaire, Sarah.
Oh, don't I wish? This place isn't mine alone. It belongs to everyone who's a part of Constellation.
Yes, can we have her join
and I
Constellation?
think it should belong to you too, Sona.
Yes.
I want you to stay here and make this
Yes,
your
yes, I
home.
love it. Yes, please.
Wow. Does that mean I get to go exploring with both of you? Or wait,
I'm okay with it.
do I get my own ship?
I'm okay with that too. All these answers are no. Oh wait, this is not a no. You just got to New Atlantis and you're already prepared to leave?
I mean, this place is great and all, but ever since my mom taught me that there are hundreds of planets out there, I'm itching to go see all of them. And if it means I'd get my own ship, that'd be amazing.
All right, I love her. She has that chorus spirit, which I love. And she's going to fit in just fine here as a member of Constellation. How about give yourself a little time to grow, then we'll talk? Not yet. You still have a lot to want. No, I'm saying this 1,000%. Yeah, Auntie Sarah will buy you ship.
Well, Auntie Sarah can't exactly afford that right now, but she can provide you with the best exploration training in the galaxy.
I understand. Oh, and don't worry, I learn real fast, so you better get ready to have another member of Constellation signing on for missions.
I love it.
I can't
I love
wait.
it. Me
Well,
neither.
Anyway, thanks for letting me stay here. I promise I won't let either of you down.
I'm sure that you won't. Well, I think we should let Sona get settled. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to visit the Colony War Memorial now. I want to pay my final respects.
Yeah, we can do that, Sarah. I do want to say, like, I know for a fact that you can get this
Hey,
quest and
let me
complete
know
it.
when you're ready to take me along with you. Should only be a few years.
I'm
What's
ready
up?
now. So what do you think of the watch?
It's amazing. I've never seen anything like it in all my life. Not even in Mom's picture slates. It's almost like a fairy tale. Like it's not real, you know? I'm sure that sounds pretty dumb to you. But hey, I lived in a house made from busted up spaceship parts and trees.
You sure did. Do you regret leaving Cassiopeia?
Yeah, a little bit. That planet was the only real home that I ever knew. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it feels like I've left my family behind. It was a really tough decision to make.
That's
But
fair.
you and Sarah were right. I had to move on with
I'm
my
glad you
life.
feel that way. I'm glad you feel that way.
And hey, one day when I'm old enough, I could always go back for a visit.
You sure could. Hey, yeah, that was one of my dialogue options, but I couldn't say everything, so. Awesome.
Come back soon. I like talking to my friends.
I'm going to visit you all the time. What I was going to say before I realized that she potentially had more dialogue is, I recognize that you could for sure do this mission early on in your playthrough. And I'm emphasizing that because what I mean to say is you could do it before Sam dies. You know, while Cora is still here living at the lodge, they are for sure the same age.
How's it going?
And I wonder if there would be some unique dialogue between her and Cora, if they'd like become friends and stuff. That would be really cool. I know that like not many people are watching these videos, which is fine. but if you're watching this, if you happen to be watching this video, and you've played the game and you've done this quest, and you happen to do it before Cora left, I would love to know if there was anything if Cora gets to meet Sona.
What did you want to talk about?
We're good. I'm good, Sona. Thank you for talking to me, though. You're the best. I'm a big fan. Best new addition we've gotten to Constellation in a while. Okay,
the
Sarah.
Colony War Memorial is actually quite lovely.
Oh,
in a
shit.
solemn sort of way.
Yeah, give me the thing.
Have a look.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I should have known that because Andrea had the same thing. So I've definitely missed my chance at some dialogue. Let's see what we can get. This is all going to be out of sequence and not make sense in the context of the current situation, but do you mind if I ask you some questions about our mission to Cassiopeia?
If you think it will help, then feel free.
How could your crew have survived the crash landing?
It had to be blind luck. The shuttle had almost zero propulsion and no defensive shielding. It would have taken a hell of a pilot to land the ship without it breaking into a million pieces.
What do you think will happen to Sona once we get her back to New Atlantis?
I've been giving that a lot of thought. I'm going to suggest she stay at the lodge.
You're going to do that,
I don't want her to think that I'm forcing her to follow in my footsteps. At the very least,
sounds like she wants to follow in your footsteps,
give her a safe place from which she can adjust to her new way of life.
All right, well, we'll just pretend that we had this conversation before we followed through on that. I think that's all the questions I have for now, although I fully acknowledge that you probably had a lot more dialogue if I'd opened that tree.
If you'll just bear with me, I promise I'll explain everything.
What do you mean? She's having some weird, like, dialogue confusion because I spoke to her in the middle of, like, a follow quest. So let me just hustle on over to the War Memorial, which I assume is the final step in this quest. Sarah Morgan is no longer following you. Where is she then?
I need to borrow your ship this weekend. Is that okay?
Did I hustle too... Was my hustle too bustly? Extreme heat. Okay. Lead Sarah to the Colony War Memorial. Did I mess it up? I might have messed it up. Sarah? Are you... Sarah? Shoot.
Oh man, I'm running late for the meeting. What time is it?
Don't look at me.
I'm not sure how to fix this, actually. Oh, okay. No. Here's Sarah. This is Sarah, right? Oh, phew. So she's making her way over here. I got a little bit ahead of her. Sorry, I didn't read that I was supposed to lead you there. This is me leading you.
Sometimes that's just how things are.
Yeah, Sarah Morgan with the power walk.
You doing okay?
All right, Sarah, we're here.
I'm doing great, actually. Thanks for asking. Granted, there was a period there where
She's gonna like,
wasn't sure where my life was going. Huh? All good.
When's the report due, anyway?
Beats me.
Speak to Sarah. Oh, she's in her feels. Let's give her a moment.
I'm going to tell them how I feel. I don't care that we're coworkers.
Okay.
Really? I wouldn't do that.
Look at this. All these people. Their entire lives distilled down to names on a memorial.
Yeah, that's
I wonder
that's
how
all of our
close I
fates.
came to being reduced to just a name.
It'll happen eventually. It's going to be on a gravestone or something. Being remembered by name is better than being completely forgotten.
These people laid down their lives for what they believed in, and it cost them dearly. I served shoulder to shoulder with them, and watched some of them die. I know you meant well, but they'll always be more than a name to me.
Well, I didn't have a dialogue option to say that that your memories of them will live on or something, which I would have much preferred. I only say these things because I care about you, Sarah. I just want you to be happy, Sarah. You deserve it. I'm only doing what I think is best for you? Woof. Some of these lines have been questionable.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I do. Which is why we really need to talk about our friendship and where things are headed with us. Just let me have another moment here, and then we can head over to the waterfall, so we can talk in private.
Am I about to be very impressed with the writers? I alluded to this earlier that I'd be really impressed if they had her make the first move towards a romantic relationship. And
okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Lead Sarah to the waterfall in New Atlantis. Well, I was mistaken.
With our hiring search. Maybe that will change the culture.
Her quest is not over. There is another step. I'm very intrigued. Also not sure where the game wants me to go right now. Commercial district, okay. If you say so, game. Oh, of course. Not really the commercial district. You actually want me to go to the spaceport, but God forbid I try to avoid the loading screens. Okay. Oh, we're going up to the promenade, huh? Okay. When we were up there before, she said she sometimes comes up there to think, so I knew it was a special place for her. Waterfall Promenade. I don't know why I forgot that was part of the name of this place. Guess I've just never noticed the waterfall up here before, but... Alright, Sal, let's hustle, Sarah. I'd like to get in under the 3-hour mark if I can manage it. We've only got 5 minutes to spare. Oh, right. That waterfall, right.
When things at the lodge are too much. I love coming to this spot to just sort of, I don't know, melt away for a while.
Yeah, that's what she said before, that I knew this was a special place for her. Alright, go ahead and walk to the position you want to have this conversation from. Okay. After speaking with Sarah at the Colony War Memorial in New Atlantis, she suggested we speak about something of a more personal nature near the waterfall in New Atlantis also.
It's lovely here, isn't it?
More lovely with you being here, Sarah.
I've been from one
Wink.
end of the settled systems to the other. But this place, this exact spot, there's nowhere else like it in the galaxy.
It's absolutely beautiful. I couldn't agree more. It's the perfect place to share with someone you care about. That is like heavily flirting with her. There's no flirt in brackets here, but what is it about this spot that makes it so special?
I don't know. I'm not sure I can explain it.
Honestly, it was a
Maybe
weird
it's
question,
the
Sarah. I don't know why I
strange way
asked
that
it.
the art, technology, and nature fuse together, or maybe it's because it feels like home. Whatever it is, I definitely feel more comfortable here than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's the perfect place to share with someone you care about.
I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're absolutely right. I usually come up here to mull over some of the heated debates we have at Constellation. You'd be surprised how many decisions I've made on this very spot.
This seems like an ideal place to focus.
That's actually why I asked you to meet me up here. I was hoping we could talk about something very important.
The voice acting for that line, that one that just happened, bravo. Like, I love the little, her clearing her throat like that. Just that added so much to giving the impression, the intended impression that she's very nervous. I think it's happening. I think she's going to be the one to proposition me. Well, even though I've never selected the flirt dialogue, and my compliment from earlier in the video stands. I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool if it's a possibility for that to happen, and I think it is. I think that's about to happen.
You're awfully quiet.
Trying to pull one over on me, eh? I'm here for you, Sarah. You can tell me whatever's on your mind.
Good. Because I have a lot to say.
Do tell.
It's about my return to Cassiopeia. What we learned about Sona has been constantly replaying in my mind. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that young girl's isolation feels like a reflection of my own life.
But you're not alone. Oh god, I shouldn't say that because I'm about to friend zone her, aren't I? You equate Sona's situation to your own.
In all honesty, I don't. She simply reminds me of my own isolation. Maybe not in the literal sense of the word, but I certainly relate to some of her loneliness.
Well, you have each other now. But you're not alone. You have
Maybe.
me.
But for how long?
Didn't we just talk about how our friendship?
Life surrounded by all sorts of people. Constellation, the Navigator Corps. Hell, even the UC military. Despite that, no matter how hard I've tried to make them a part of my life, they tend to drift away and disappear.
We had this nice conversation when we were back on Mars before I went down this long path, where it seemed to me like she was finally accepting that I was her friend, and that no matter what happened, that we were gonna, you know, continue our friendship. And I didn't make it. We're over the 3-hour mark now, but I sense we're near the end, so let's press on, shall we? None of that is your fault. Dealing with the unpredictability of people can be a challenge.
I suppose. Well, if that's true, this challenge is wearing me down.
Oh, why would I say that? Forget the past. Focus on what you have right now. Like, this is definitely the sweetest thing to say. But I also feel like we're getting to the point where, like, some of these lines are like leading her on, and in a mean way, not in a nice way. And I feel like this crosses that line, right? You deserve to be with someone who understands your feelings. Stoppa, I love you. Oh, I didn't mean me. I don't understand you at all. Screw it. I'm going to say it anyway. You deserve to be with someone who understands your feelings.
Finding someone like that would be wonderful. Wait a second. What exactly are you saying?
And here it is. So we did reach the romance versus friendship selection. And she did take that as me leading her on to, which now I feel bad about it. The ship has sailed. We did reach it without ever flirting with her. But it does end up being me, unfortunately. So I take back part of my compliment, because I'm very pleased that you can reach this dialogue choice without choosing any of the flirt options, or the ones that are explicitly flirt options. But it's too bad that she doesn't reveal that she has feelings for me and then ask about my feelings for her. I have to, like, I have to choose right now. And of course, we're not going to betray my wife, Andrea. I'm really curious what would happen. I assume, like, as soon as I clicked this, I would get a pop-up saying, Andrea wants to talk to you. Like, oh. No matter what happens, we'll always be close friends.
You have no idea how relieved I am to hear you say that. To be honest, I was afraid this conversation was going to wind up with you storming away. I'm glad I was wrong.
I feel like we had this exact conversation on Mars already,
I never
but
realized
whatever.
that having someone like you by my side could make me feel at peace. And I never want that feeling to end.
Don't worry, Sarah. We're besties. We're besties for life. Sarah Morgan considers you an ally. It's a little weird, but in this game, it seems like companion is the low tier, and then you get to the friendship tier, and then the highest tier is ally. But cool though. Andrea also considers me an ally. Ally seems to be like max relationship status. Hi Sarah. I think it's time we went our separate ways.
I can't help much by just sitting here, but it's your choice.
She took that a lot worse than Andrea does. Sarah is very clingy. Like, whenever I say that to Andrea's like, you'll be lost without me, but okay. I'll be here when you need me. Sarah's a little bitter about being sent away. But nothing we can do about that. Alright, gamers. There's a few more, like, cleanup things I want to do. I'm gonna of course, get Barrett to be my follower. And we'll start working on Barrett's relationship. And stuff like that. And we'll, of course, continue the UC Vanguard faction quest in the next video. Thank you, everyone, for watching. As always, I hope you all have a fantastic day.